Hello, in this video we'll go through the steps to generate an exploded analysis of parts, as well as to the use of section boats via the properties of 3D view. So let's get started with the exploded analysis. Here I am from the previous video. I have set up here the 4 different views: fall, spring, summer, winter. As part of my solar studies, they all are isometric views, and I have exported those as PDF in presentation quality. Also, based on the solar studies from the previous video again, I have set up my orientation. So right now, of course, under the project north because I want to keep working, but also I could change that to true north. And in all of the levels, I have the possibility of looking what is the actual orientation of my building. Great. Okay, so I will go back to my 3D view and I will duplicate this view and I will rename the new copy and I will name it Exploded Analysis. So that's another drawing, another visual that you guys are asked to place as part of your panel 2. Okay, here we go. You realize now that Revit has a very fast tool to really take aside parts and explain the different components of a composition. Much easier than Rhino, actually. So to do that, I will first select everything. I will select all of the geometries, and using the filter button, I will start filtering specific geometries that I want to group together, make them a family, let's say, and then move them aside accordingly. So I will start with check none, and let's get started first with the walls. I could go with the existing categories in the way I created the elements, such as walls, stairs, roofs, curtain walls, floors. Or I could go ahead and split even the walls into different categories, such as exterior walls and interior walls. If I want to do that, I will have to select the exterior walls manually. Okay, let's go, let's say now with the global option, where all of the walls will be exploded as one layer. So I will only select the walls here, I will hit OK to that, and here they are highlighted as blue. I could do whatever I want with them, but right now I will just make them an actual group. I will go under the Displace Elements button. I will click here, and what this button does for us is that it groups everything together. It creates a body out of all of the walls, and also brings a gumball as part of our interface, just so we're able to move those walls right or left, up and down. Okay, so I could start moving those and exploding them in any direction. If I mess up too much, I can always go back and reset the walls back to their position, but also the reset button will ungroup them. So if I reset, they are not anymore a group. I would have to go ahead and displace those elements again. So here we go, and now I can move them in one direction. Nice. So that's one of the layers of my diagram. I will go ahead and select the rest of the geometry, back to the filter button, check none, and now let's work with the stairs and the railings. So all of those go together. Here we go, stair runs, landings, stairs, and the 2 types of railings. I will hit OK to that. Here they are, and I'm ready to go under the Display Elements button. And now I can see my gumball, and I can move the staircases all the way up to the Z-axis. As we said in class, if you're to zoom in a lot, then that's fine. Then you don't have really a lot of density when it comes into lines and information. But since you will be more or less exporting and presenting this drawing in a zoom out scale, so all of the layers are included, I would recommend that why not you may even get rid of the railings. So don't represent the railings at all, so at least we can see the staircases more clearly. So I will go back and I will reset that, and I will go back to the filter now, and I will say, you know what, do not select the railings, I only want the staircases. Okay, and displace elements again, and I can move them upwards, And yes, now it seems much cleaner, right? If I export in this scale or even smaller, I can see the geometry of the staircases. Great. Next step, I will go back, I will select everything, I will go to the filter button, and this time I will work with my curtain walls. So we'll select all of the curtain geometry, and I will hit OK to that, and display those elements as well. And I can move them either in this direction or to the side, it's really up to you. And let's suppose that these are the main parts that I want to work with. I'm almost done, almost ready. Obviously the railings, I want to hide them from this view. I don't want them here. So we'll select one of them, hide in view. So let's hide the category. And here they are, lost. Before I save this file, there are two more things that I can do. The first one would be to why not add a little bit of transparency in the roof, just so I can see underneath. So I will go to the visibility and graphics, VV, roof, all the way down, here it is, transparency, and let's override that to something like 20-21%. And here I can see a little bit underneath. I could add the transparency level so I can see clearer these two slabs. Great. And last step, as soon as you select any of those grouped, let's say, bodies of components, together with a reset option, you also have the path creation option, which is very, very helpful. So instead of doing that really manually, as you would do it in Illustrator after you have exported a Make 2D from Rhino, now Revit will do it for you. So let's select this one and let's see how it works. You can go ahead and snap in characteristic, like let's say moments of it of the geometry. You don't want to exaggerate, you don't want every edge point to be a path, because then your exploded diagram will become very, very messy, no? So I will choose this one, and then I will choose, let's say, the exterior walls, and then the middle wall, and then the other wall, and that's the end. Let's go also up. And from here, from the curtain walls, I want to go to the sides, obviously, so I can describe a little bit the boundaries, and why not, this opening seems to me also important. Great. So now I have correlated all of the elements, all of the components together, so I could escape that, and I could export the view. Again, that's a very fast and even very generic understanding of how the explosion drawing could work. As I said before, you could categorize differently. You could say, you know what, I don't want all of the walls. I want first the exterior walls towards this direction, and then the interior walls towards the exact opposite direction. So you guys should feel free to select objects and displace them accordingly. Okay, nice. So I will go under the application button, I will go under the print option, Adobe PDF, selected views, and let's go ahead and select the exploded analysis only. Okay to that. I don't want to save that view for future use, so I will go under the setup, center it, and again, same concept as the solar analysis. You could go with a specific scale, although for our course, for our class, the exploded parts could be even out of scale. Could be like small, placed small and cute, so they give a basic understanding of the components. And this will be vector processing indeed, because there are no shadows here. We didn't add shadows wisely, so it will be lines, crisp and nice. So I'll hit OK to that, and let's continue. Almost there. And here is what we just generated. And of course, the resolution is very good, the resolution of this diagram. And now that you zoom in, you can already see that I have plugged it here, a brick wall. If you want to change the brick wall, as you guys have seen in previous tutorials, you can always go under the edit type of the wall, or you can override this texture only for this view from the visibility and graphics menu, because the exploded analysis doesn't really have quality of materiality and realism. just the parts, you may end up really overwriting from the visibility and graphics menu all of those textures and keeping them simple and white. Great, so we'll close that. And very fast, because before we close this tutorial, we'll go ahead and generate a very fast section, axonometric section out of this composition. So I jump back to my 3D view, and again I will duplicate the view, and I will rename it, and let's call that axo or isometric section. Nice. And that's a very, very easy drawing. So as soon as you have highlighted the view, you can go under the properties of the view, under the extents menu, all the way down. You should have the section box option. So as soon as you click that and you apply, this box that acts very, very similarly to the clipping plane in Rhino appears, and it has these clips. So you can move the clips to the right and to the left, but also to the bottom and the top. So you're sectioning, basically you're building in X, Y, and Z axis. Okay. For now, I will leave the top intact. So I will not really section from the Z axis, but I will be sectioning from the X and the Y axis. And I can move even further up until I get a nice quality of my space. I do like here this curve of the ceiling, so I would like to reveal it. My recommendation would always be to also create a section box or a section cut that goes through staircases. It's always nice to cut staircases. And as soon as you're happy, I will just pretend or suppose that this is a great section cuts from those two directions. So I don't need that anymore, so I will hide it. I will right click and say hide this element. So before I export, I have it clean and nice. Now, since this is an actual cut, this is a section drawing, even if it's axonometric, you really want to give here the quality of solid, basically possess the actual cut surfaces. And as you already know, you can go and do that through the visibility and graphics menu. Again, either under the view, visibility and graphics, or VV. And I will start with the walls. And I will go under the cut, and of course I'm talking about a pattern. So I will make all of my cuts black, and I will have to select solid as well. Okay, to that. And here I have now a nice posse for all of the walls. And I recommend that you guys do the same for the floors, okay, and also for the roof. And if you do cut staircases, for the staircases as well. So just really possess every small element, every little detail that is cut. So I will go back the same menu, visibility and graphics. I will jump into the floors, cut, patterns, black and solid, and apply that. And also I wanted the roof. So patterns, oops, not roads. I don't have any road, but I have roofs, and black and solid as well, and apply that as well. And stairs, so as stairs, here we are, same menu, and solid. And let's see what is that we did. Nice, much better, much cleaner. And here I cut this tiny little piece of the staircase. So that said, I would consider to move my bounding box a little bit more to the inside so I can cut more of the staircase. Otherwise, this looks a bit weird, right? So I could go back and unhide this box. So right click and unhide and view the element. And I could go ahead now that I see better my drawing and cut further in. So I think that that's much more elaborate. This triangle annoys me a little bit, so I could try to even get that perfectly cut or non-cut, right? Great. So let's hide that again, hide in view, this element. And again, for these drawings, I highly recommend isometric Projections, again, they are very diagrammatic, so I will go ahead and export that. If you guys want to add a little bit more resolution to the inside, as we have said before, you can always add transparencies if needed. So you can export like that, or you can say again from the visibility and graphics that your roof will have a little bit of transparency before you export. So evaluate this option. It may work for you, it may not. I think it's nice, although the Posé also becomes transparent. I think it's nice because we can see a little bit better this panel and also this wall. Great. So file, print, Adobe PDF, select the view. This time I need only the axis section view. Okay to that, do not save. And same settings, right? The exact same settings. And okay, that's a drawing we can export and place already in our second panel. And I will leave it here for now. Thank you.